ride your motorcycle off-road a lot, you should be carrying a patch kit, an air pump, and a spare tube with you. But have you ever thought about how you're actually going to get the wheel off the motorcycle when you're off-road? Do you carry a jack with you? I'm going to show you the method that I use and I came up with, and sometimes I do things in a funny way. So if you've got a better method or a better tool for doing this, feel free to comment down below and let me know your thoughts on it. Or comment and let me know your thoughts about the technique I'm going to show you here. Here we go. So let's talk about a few of the ways that you can jack up the bike to get the wheel off. This is assuming you don't have a jack at your disposal and you don't have a center stand on the motorcycle. Obviously, it's going to be a lot easier if you have that. Now let's say we just got a flat tire in the front. First thing you're going to do is look around at your resources. Do you have a log you can prop up under there, a rock, a tree to lean it against, or a rope to tie it up on a tree? Any of those, there's like a million ways you could get this bike up in the air. But let's say you're out in the desert, right? And it's nothing but flat around you and you get this flat tire. What do you do then? The only option I can really think of is to lay the bike on its side, and that certainly is a decent option, but it just might be a pain in the butt to get the wheel back on there, especially with the chain if you're doing the back, and you're gonna dump fuel out of the tank and everything, so who wants to do that? Alrighty, so we got a flat tire, we're out in the desert right now. Here are the tools that I've put on my bike that will hopefully assist me if that ever occurs. Got a real simple system here. First thing is a kickstand plate. This happens to be a piece of titanium that I use, and I keep it on here with just this piece of aluminum wire that goes through it, and then you can pop this right off of here. All right, so we got the plate under the kickstand, and I actually have it tethered to the motorcycle, as you can see, because I once lost one of these plates and rode off and left it on the ground. Next item, which I keep stored right here, is a prop rod of some sort. This happens to be a cut-off ski pole, and I have a little piece of rubber down here to dampen it from vibrating on the engine. And then up here, it's actually just a little pipe clamp or whatever the case, pipe clamped into there. So to get this thing out of here, it's actually just kind of wedged down in there, and I've actually meant to put another hole through it and have something so it could never slide up, but it's never come up at all. So you just kind of wiggle it and pull it, and boom, there you go. Prop rod is out, except for that rubber damper. It doesn't make it through the hole. There we go. And the last thing you're going to need is another kickstand pad. I keep this little sheet of aluminum in my toolkit. So we've got everything we need now, and let's show you how this is done. First thing you're going to do is, of course, loosen the bolts on your wheel, because you don't want to jack it up and then be cranking on those. Obviously, I'm not going to show you what tools I use and how to remove the wheel, because that's pretty self-explanatory. I am mainly showing you how do you jack the bike up. So loosen up that wheel, and then we're quite simply going to lean the bike over on the kickstand with this jack. Well, I just ran into a technical difficulty there. I guess with this titanium plate, it's all wet and muddy out today. My kickstand slid on it, so I just took this rope that I have on here and tied it, and I think that's gonna hold on there from keeping the stand from sliding off of it. So a quick tip for you, if you are gonna go with this method I'm using, if you make your own plate, I recommend putting something so that the stand can't slide on here, like, you know, weld a bead around it or whatever the case, or maybe just buy yourself one that has that built into it. Anyway, here we go. Let's see if that works. I will note it's usually a lot easier to get the rear wheel off and up in the air. So let me show you that first. It's a little bit harder on the front. We'll do the rear first. And that's it. It's up off the ground. I just propped it up here on the back of this bolt here. You can see the top of this is hollow, so you can kind of prop that on a multitude of different things. And then this ski pole bites into this aluminum plate really good, because the aluminum's soft and you got this hard carbon steel here. And then of course the wheel can spin because it's just barely off the ground, and it's enough. And I'll go give it a good shake here and show you that it doesn't fall off. Nice and sturdy. You can always put it up a little bit higher if you want, but that works. Let's try out the front now. And that's it in a nutshell. There's the technique that I use. I'll admit You might have to play with the rod a little bit, and I could definitely use some upgrading on my system, like maybe make it so this rod actually sits into a little cup on here. But if you play around with it, you can get this thing on pretty sturdy and shake it around a bunch before you actually take the wheel off, so you know it's not going to fall on the ground when you do so. Of course, if you have a like 500-pound bike, it might be a little bit more difficult. This thing only weighs, I think, around 320 wet, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me down below if I'm wrong about that, though. 1986 Honda XL600R. This has got the upgraded suspension. I've put the XR650L suspension on the front and back. You got disc brakes in the back, a bunch of other nice modifications on here. Yes, it's not pretty, but again, that's the way I like my stuff. I use it and abuse it and keep it mechanically sound. I am getting ready to rebuild this motor because I have, or at least rebuild the top end. I think I got a noisy timing chain or something, so stay tuned and subscribe if you want to see that. But yeah, I hope this video helped you out and gave you some ideas. Again, comment down below if you've got a better idea or product that you suggest for when you're in the desert and you get a flat tire. Give the video a thumbs up if you can. It's actually starting to flurry right now. We got some snow coming tonight, so I'm going to get wrapped up here. Till next time, this is KZ Guy 2, No Nonsense, No How, and I'll see you later.